My name is Lisa Peterson, and I will be presenting this gait check for Group 5. So we chose emergency room wait time reduction, and this is members of our group. We first started by making a weighted scoring model. Now, our group is made up entirely of healthcare administrative majors, and so we decided to pick projects that were related to something we might do in our future careers. So here you can see we have the different projects, how they were weighted, and the one that came up with the most was the emergency room improvement plan. They were all close, they were all great ideas, but this was the one that we all agreed would be the best one to choose. Here we have a chart that gives the average emergency department wait time according to their urgency of the patient care, meaning those that are immediate, they get in quicker with 28 minutes, whereas those that come in urgent are at 63 minutes. We decided to take the task of finding ways to reduce the wait time in emergency rooms to improve patient and as well as the provider care and satisfaction for both of them. Here we have another chart about the ER wait times, but this one is based across the United States. So we have over here Maryland, Maine, Delaware, all the higher populated city areas, and they also have higher wait times. This one is up to about 54 minutes of waiting in the ER room. Down here, Montana, Colorado, Idaho is smaller wait times in the more rural areas. We feel that it was significant to find a need to reduce the wait times in emergency rooms, and we want to come up with a plan that can be implemented in an ER to help reduce this wait time. We feel like by finding a way to reduce the wait time, we'll be able to increase the customer patient satisfaction. It will take less stress load off the doctors, as well as generating a revenue for the clinic itself. The average wait time for all of these combined is around 30 minutes. The scope of our project, if you look over at this flow chart, you'll see that we started with our idea, the functionality of it, and this is the information that we are looking to gather. And because we are healthcare administration majors, our project is going to be a little bit different focus. It's going to be more of a research report, thoroughly, investigated about this information to see if it was something that would work, rather than creating something. Because we couldn't just walk in and do this project right now. So the first thing we wanted to look at at the different hospitals that we interviewed was what they offered for registration methods, meaning do they have online scheduling that people with non-life-threatening illnesses would be able to schedule ahead of time to save that registration time in the facility once they got there. The other thing we wanted to look at was the doctor to patient ratio, Doctors with higher patient loads tend to have higher waiting time than those that have fewer patients to look at. And obviously, when you think about that, that would make sense, because the less people they have to get through, the less people are going to be waiting in the ER. One thing we wanted to look into as well was if hospitals had different types of efficiency systems. An example of this efficiency system would be something that is called the SORT, the See, Order, and Treat program. And what it does is it utilizes providers to examine the patient in triage shortly after their arrival at the ER. So it finds a way to move people through the clinic quicker, and therefore decreasing the wait time. So we wanted to just gather information from hospitals to see if they have these systems, if they feel like a system like this would help with their wait time, and just any type of information we can gather about what they do, what protocol they carry in order to move people through at a quicker rate, even during their busy times. The last one here kind of had to do back with this chart that we looked at here was the location. Here you can see more of the city, higher populated areas had higher wait times, whereas down here in the more rural areas, Montana, Colorado, with less people, the wait times are lower. So we wanted to make sure if this was something that wasn't just because of the lower population, if it was because maybe the more rural locations had different efficiency systems already in place, or if they did things differently, or if it was just the plain fact that the city has more people than a rural area would. For the time, cost, and feasibility, if you look at this Gantt chart that we've started, you can see that we've got the 5 different areas or phases that we need to go through.